Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Atomic Salt Live Show. This is a weekly show where we're going to talk about everything in the tabletop hobby world. I'm Wild Chevy, and I'm joined by Casey. Casey, how are you doing this week?
Alan, if I was any better, I'd have to be twins just to handle it.
It's
Are
a
you
good week for you
yourself?
then.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's finally snowed here this weekend, and it's freezing cold.
Yeah, man, the wind is blowing. This or this video cast, what do we want to call this? Might actually get cut short in case my house actually blows down. It is blowing so hard out here. Windows are rattling, doors are shaking, women
It's
and
good kite
children are
weather.
screaming. Yeah, this new house is right next to the mountains, so we get some nasty weather along here.
All right, so let's begin like how we normally do. What have you done this week in the hobby world?
I went to work and I slept a little bit,
At work?
ate some food. Yes, don't tell my boss. Uh, but in terms of hobby, I have done not a single thing. I wish I had. I meant to 2 or 3 times, but life has been busy. What about yourself?
Uh, this weekend, yeah, or yeah, the week was pretty much nothing, but this weekend I did go a little assembly at wise and painting wise. I have right here uh, Tarek Masuri. I The top part's not done yet. Just I've been working on the base.
Could you bring the picture up of that?
Yeah, let me grab that real quick.
Because this is actually a great model. I want everybody to see this a little bit better.
All right, let me grab the share over here real quick.
That's right, folks. We are professionals.
You caught me off guard. Boom! There we go. There he is in all his glory. Well, black and white glory. The base, though, is complete to a point.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Why did you do the base first? Because I know most people usually do the base last.
I was uh, Usually I do the base last, and I was thinking about using this guy for a painting competition, and that starts Saturday, and so I did not want to start on his body, so I figured I'll work on trying to build up the base first, and
Mm.
so this is the fruits of my labor.
Okay, so what do we got going there on the base? This is a custom base you built, right? This isn't anything like resin precast, is it?
Nope. So the stone on his that he's standing on his left leg, it comes with the miniature, and uh, so I reached out to some folks on Facebook, said, "Hey, I'm working on this base. You can kind of see the the progress." That's how it first started out. It's like, "Hey, how's this look?" And like, "Oh, you should add more rocks in." I'm like, "Okay, how about now?" And they're like, "Well, you should add in some littler rocks to give it more contrast and I'm like, "Okay." And then they're like, "Oh, you should put in some grass." And there we go. And that's how it is at this moment.
I think they gave you some good advice because that first one was okay, where it's just like the single rock, but the second one, where it was just like the medium rocks, looked a little odd. This looks very, very nice. And we haven't gotten to the model here yet, but the base looks great. What did you do to
Yeah,
paint
now
that
I
up?
have to just regular GW paints. Did um, snake. I think it's snakebite brown, and then the whole thing like a Devlin mud. And then while that was all kind of wet, I took bleached bone over the top, give it a wet blend.
Hmm.
And then after all that was dry, I did go back over it a little bit with purple and green in the recesses.
Wow. That made some very nice shadows.
Yeah. And I mean, here in southern Utah, you can. It's not all one color. Yeah, there's a lot of greens from the lichen and all that.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see how the rest of this progresses. I mean, just based off of the work that you've done on the base here, that's very, very nice.
Yeah, it's almost going to be a kick in the pants. I'm gonna have to do something really good to make sure he's, he works up to his base.
Okay, so let's go back to that model. Like, that is just primed right now, correct?
Correct.
So what was the process that you did? Because that, I mean, obviously that's not just black or gray or white. You've done a mixture of everything here.
It's two tone. I used my airbrush and the Vallejo primer, and did the whole thing black first, and then went over it with a gray.
Hmm. And so did you do like multiple passes of gray? Like, I mean, say this is your model, and like do like a single pass of gray here, and then do another one here and another one here, and as consecutive passes just brightened it up, or
Just one at the 45. Just and you can't really see it. He's very black looking from the bottom. But at the 45, and then around the focal point, so his face and the sword, I went full more color on there to give it a brighter appearance.
okay, yeah, because man, you've been getting good with this airbrush because that is very very smooth looking.
Yeah, it's you, you don't go full bore all the time. You go light passes many times, and just those small thin layers build up to be a lot better.
Yeah, when you first of all showed this to me, I looked at it, I was like, you could just call it done. I mean, and just call it like a stylistic choice. I mean, just do like a grayscale. Did you ever play Batman Arkham City?
I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, I mean that. Hold on here. Like, let me. I mean, that's how they did all of their promotional art for it. Was this really cool like grayscale?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's like the second you showed that, that's what I thought of. I thought, oh man, how great is that? Like, so here, let me just show for everybody here who might not be familiar with this. Let me just show you what I'm looking at. What I'm referring to here is, you notice how they've got like this really just great grayscale, and then they've just picked out, like a single color in different.
The film noir or the Sin City look.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's just very, very striking. And to be honest, I've seen some people who have tried to do this, but it's always looked poorly. But then when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to see like a whole army like this, where it's everything's done as grayscale, but then say you've picked out like a single color, like since they're Hawkislam, like have like a vibrant green, in
Yeah.
the model.
Well, like right now, currently, Cool Mini or Not is doing a 50 Shades of Grayscale competition.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, and that's exactly what they're looking for: grayscale or a sepia, but something that's not very much in color.
Alan, I demand that you send that picture in. You stick it in the booth and you take a picture right there, because I'm telling you that is a world class paint job right there, and all you've done is primed it.
Yeah, I,
The
yeah, but
base gives it that little splash of color, and it's good.
I'd have to go more. That's
You might want to do like a little bit of white on the top just to
yeah.
kind of like really stress it out. But seriously, man, it is just so smooth and good looking. It's a great model. The assembly has been great.
Yeah,
You should just throw a little bit of covering down, so you keep the base intact. So you don't have to redo that because the base looks good. You need to go for it.
we'll see. Going back to my black and white photography days, there has I'd have to do a lot more to this because you have in black and white photography you don't have black, and or if you have black, it's very minimal, and same thing with white, it's very minimal and in a high contrast parts. So
And you have very little black on this model. It's all just different shades of gray. And don't take a black and white picture. I mean, take a color picture. It's a black and white model.
we'll see.
I think you should do it, man. It's like I said, you're 90% of the way there already.
But you posted a photo of Harley with Batman. And
Mm-hmm.
speaking of Harlequins, I did assemble my solitaire.
Outstanding. This is a guy with like a bajillion rules, but it's still only a toughness 3 model who can't
Yeah,
join a squad.
and like he, I'm not exactly sure what charged means. I have to look it up for uh, 7th edition. But yeah, he's pretty nasty in close combat.
I believe his charge rule is that when he's charging a unit, he gets an extra d6 for every turn it is. So if you charge in the 3rd turn, you get an extra 3d6 to your charge roll.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
Yeah, so like a turn 4, turn 5 charge can start getting stupidly long. And the nice thing is when you're charging that far, you're actually going to be out of range of a lot of things, weapons. Because a charge is already a 2d6. You charge turn 4, you're 2d6 plus that 4, so you're at 6d6. So you're averaging 4. Yeah, you could be 24 inches out.
Yeah. And speaking of Harlequins, up on GW site, we do have the Harlequin Codex up for pre-order, along with the new Death Jester and the new Shadow Seer, which is pretty interesting. I mean, I have here the old Death Jester, the
Yep,
metal model.
which is still a great looking model.
Yeah. And then the Shadow Seer.
Where did you have these old? Where were you keeping these old metal minis at? Just back of your closet?
I long ago I really wanted a Harlequin army. I figured they would be the prettiest looking army when it's fully painted. And before they went to fine cast, I tried to I picked up a troop and some figures.
Well, there you go. Now you have an entire army, which can't actually be allies because you don't have any HQs. You
Is
have
it
to take a formation.
the Solitaire's in HQ?
Is he? Are you
Yeah.
sure about that? Is he an elite?
We'll find out once the Codex comes.
Because my whole understanding is that there are actually no HQ selections in this. Like you have to take their little force or like their little detachment.
Hmm. I don't know. It's 40k. 40k is interesting.
40k is pretty interesting, but I think I like 30k a little bit better now.
This is like the Horace Heresy stuff, right?
Yeah. How much do you know about Horace Heresy? So you're a 40k player. Tell me what you know about the Horus Heresy.
There was the Emperor. He had all his clones, his children,
Mm-hmm.
the Primarchs. They were kidnapped and
Chaos.
or by benevolent forces that they not for sure mentioned, and then they were scattered to all points of the universe. And then the Emperor came knocking, found all his kids, gave them all legions, and everything was hunky dory. And then Horace started getting whispers of betrayal. And he went to the Eye of Terror, came back a little different, and started killing all his brothers. And tried to kill Dad, and got interesting towards the end.
Yeah, and that's all they have. I mean, that's pretty much what they tell you in the 40k rulebook. The Emperor was out doing his, doing the good work, taking over the galaxy, making it a safer place for mankind. Then Horus had to get all uppity for some reason because he's evil, and went and screwed everything up. And what more needs to be said, right?
Yeah, guy had daddy issues.
You have no idea. And here's the thing: that's all anybody's ever known. However, for and most people can move on because it doesn't really impact the game any more than that. However, over the last few years, Black Library and Forge World have teamed up. I shouldn't say teamed up because they're both Games Workshop, but they're working together to actually fill in the blanks of the Horus Heresy. So instead of just saying the records have been lost, we don't know what this person's real motivations are, is we're actually learning about all their motivations. So, like Black Library has their Horus Heresy series of books. And that series, oh gosh, they've got like 40 plus different entries. Some of them are full-length novels, some of them are like short stories, some of them are like collections. They even have a few audio dramas. They're really weird. I would stay away from those.
Yeah, that I tried to listen to audio dramas, and that was pretty bad. Yeah. I like books when they say bolt or fire and you just think in your head, but this one you hear bolt or fire, crack, bow.
Yeah, I'm an avid podcast listener. I haven't listened to some books on tape, but these ones are just, it doesn't translate off of the page very well. Like I see these, I'm like, wow, what a great story these would make. It's too bad it's an audio drama, because it's one thing to read a guy saying, "Brother Angelicus, where art thou going? Will you not do your duty?" I like, okay, you could read that just fine, but when you actually hear somebody saying it, then it starts to sound really hokey. But anyways, so without going into it too much, we really get to see Horace. Before he's gone evil, we find out why Horace decides to go evil, and how he actually goes about overthrowing the Empire. Now, the series isn't done, so we're kind of right in the middle of the civil war going on in the Imperium. They haven't made it to Terra yet, and
Well,
I'm
have
sure
they
it won't
done
be
it
as far.
before? I swear that like the original series of books, they already went to Terra, right?
They have not. Well, Horace hasn't gone to Terra. We've visited people and places, inside the Sol system and on Terra, but the war or the heresy hasn't gotten to them yet. If anything, that's kind of a criticism that people have against it, is that Black Library seems to be taking its time with this, and because it is, there's a lot of stories, and I think there's a lot of things that they want to do with it. They don't want to just hit the high points and then go and fill in the gaps later. They kind of want to do this sequentially for the
They got
most
all that.
part.
They have all that canon that they don't want to rewrite.
There's actually been a fair amount of, I won't say rewriting, but reimagining. Um, I think a really great instance of this is the Space Wolves. You know, when you say Space Wolves, you think, oh, Space Vikings. They're guys who get drunk and beat up other Space Marines and, have funny German names and they're just your typical Viking idea. These guys have seen a massive, massive overhaul. They're more like wolf packs. So they're the Marines that all the other Marines think are really weird and kind of creepy. They go around with like bones all tied up in their hair. They're all tattooed, and they sleep in like their whole monastery is made to look like just like an empty cave where they all just kind of like sleep around fires and stuff, and they try to give themselves a look of eschewing technology. And like I said, they're just really really different to the point of it's confused a lot of people. So they
then, other than the books and all that, where's this 30K stuff going? I mean, right now, I know Forge World has a lot of armor sets from the 30K. They have the Contemptor Dread and all that, but what else is there to do?
So what they've actually done is Forge World has been releasing a series of books to go along with all the 30K units. As you mentioned the Contemptor Dread, and so here's one for the Alpha Legion. So we all know Forge World has beautiful, beautiful models, but they've actually also started doing a series of books called the Horace Heresy. And each book represents a different phase in the campaign. They've come up with 4 books so far. The first one is the original Betrayal and Massacre, where it's the original Istvan 5 massacre. Where they it's the first time they really publicly go out, and say, that's it, we're on our own, we're up for killing our brother Marines. And inside of these books are all the rules to play 30K, along with army lists. Excuse me. And campaigns. Each one of these books is actually a campaign book that 2 or more players can play through. And each campaign is different. It's been iterated upon with different styles, different refinements, and also for different sizes. But
And this is pretty much what, Space Marine versus Space Marine with little Guard and Titan and Adeptus mixed in?
Yeah, if there's one criticism to make against the Horus Heresy, is that it's all Space Marine versus Space Marines. However, in Book 4, we start seeing the Mechanicus. So we're seeing more Guard armies, we're seeing Knight Titans, and we're seeing the Legio Mechanicus here. So almost like a lot of like automatons and steampunky kind of looking guys. So, who's that? I don't know who that is. That's somebody. And as you can see there, these are beautiful books. They have a lot of original artwork to them. So it's not all just Space Marines, but it's pretty much Imperial stuff. You're going to see a lot of power armor bodies running around here. But before you start saying, oh, that's boring, who would care about that? This is actually the biggest seller right now for Forge World. This evidently it actually sells better than their entire Warhammer Fantasy collection, just the Horus Heresy stuff.
Well, I mean, to be honest, like once they started producing this stuff, that's when we saw their use of 3D printing, 3D printing, 3D sculpting, and they've been able to push out kits pretty fast and almost monthly.
It is. They produce a lot of stuff, and they have gone to a 3D printing, and digital sculpting. However, all of their stuff is still resin cast, which means that even though they're selling a lot and they're doing a lot, they are still very limited by the way that they produce their models. Now that being said, it sounds like that might start to change. You know, you're not going to have an uber successful division of your company stay a niche. You know, if the rumors are to be believed, it sounds like we're actually going to start seeing plastic 30K models start coming out, and mainline GW will start producing them and putting them in their stores.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Now, granted, it's still a rumor right now. However, the rumors are coming from very reliable sources, and if you step back and think about it, it makes economic sense. The Lord of the Rings models are going to start drying up. There's no more Lord of the Ring books that that Peter Jackson can make bloated movies about. And as those movies go away, the interest in the Lord of the Rings games is going to die off to a large extent. So that means that GW needs to start filling up space in their stores. And wouldn't you know, they have a hugely profitable section of their company called the Horace Heresy. But you can't go, Forge World just can't put out that much resin to fill up all their stores. So GW would have to start making the move to plastic.
Well, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, we've seen with the Blood Angels release, very unique looking Space Marine kits. So it'd be great to see a full legion of Mark III armor.
Yeah, because even if you're not going to play 30K or you're just not interested in it, it's still going to give you a lot of options. In terms of like upgrade kits or mixing it into your existing units. I mean, that is the nice thing about being power armor is everybody has a Space Marine army. And everybody's looking for ways to kind of make their guys stand out or look a little cooler, a little bit different. And Forge World does make certain upgrade kits. However, it's all resin and it's all overseas, so it's really expensive. I mean, for just a single squad of guys, you're looking to pay $80 or $90 for a 10-man squad, and that's not including shipping. So, but now if you can start getting that 10-man squad in plastic at your local GW store, that starts, that's starting to look a lot more attractive.
I mean, with GW, it's probably already in the warehouse right now.
You never know. They look far in advance because, I mean, let me just show you a couple more things here.
Oh, I mean, like those 32 mil bases that were all aflutter a few months ago. I mean, I looked at the bottom. They have the GW mark for 2013 on it. So 32 mil bases weren't just tossed in there. They've been prepped for a while.
But now, Alan, you have a Grey Knight army, right?
Yes.
So along with a Blood Angel army. But let me show you this. Would these guys not fit right in with your Grey Knights?
Not fluff-wise.
Blah! Okay, you gotta change the color scheme. But tell me that wouldn't look good with the rest of your Grey Knights.
I'd probably put them with my Blood Angels. Yes, but yes, something that's very unique looking miniatures.
Yep. Or you start getting some very cool looking Terminator kits available. So it's the perfect way to really make your army stand out and pop. But it's been cost prohibitive up until now. So even if you don't play 30K, now you're going to be able to start taking some of those 30K units to bring forward because they're all sharing the universe. It's just a question of when. And we know a lot of these older sets of armor probably made them, survive the heresy. They've been taken care of, and they're, prized relics that they give to captains or notable sergeants. So I don't know. I'm just excited. I love the Horus Heresy books. I love all the Forge World Heresy stuff. Evidently, a lot of other people do because it sells so well.
Well, I want to see the vehicles. If I can get plastic kits of vehicles, I've got a Sakaran battle tank sitting right here, all waiting to be assembled. If I can get one in plastic, oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh my gosh! Or the new Stormhammer. I would just love to see some of their flyers make the jump because they have some amazing. Oh, plastic Thunderhawks. Yes. Okay, now we're talking about stuff that will probably never ever happen, but would be cool.
Yeah.
So, but after all this talk, it is still a rumor, but I think that it's a good one, and I have a feeling we're going to be start seeing some more integration into the from Forge World into GW's main lines.
That'll be nice. And a long time coming.
Yes, yes, it will. All right. Well, that's all I've got this evening, Alan. What about yourself?
I've got a few more things to show off.
Outstanding. You can do some talking.
All right. How about some twins?
I was hoping you were going to bring these ladies up.
I had to advance a little bit further because the paint job is very, very interesting. But yes,
Angel made some interesting decisions with this paint job.
or he was prompted to push it further than normal. But yeah, we got the Nazarova twins have been previewed. So we have the two lovely ladies here, a redhead and a brunette, I believe.
Which makes no sense because they're twins.
Hey, girls are their hair is all up to them. But these are the ladies that Qasim Beg fought and took over the Kum chieftain with.
Yes, indeed. And they've got those stupid smoke launchers on the front, which just ruin the lines of the bike.
I'm not going to put those on mine. But there they are. There's the twins. So that's what? That's 5 unique sculpts for the Kums?
Yep. And with the style of them, you could mix in the bootleg Penicillaea, and she would fit right in.
Yeah.
Gosh, what I love is, these bikes all have kind of the same style and the same general lines, but if you start looking at it closely, you see that each bike is actually its own unique bike. And you can see in the picture here, you'll notice on the sissy bar on the orange bike that isn't there on the black one, the bike has some different taillight configurations. The front forks on the black bike are different. They're a little more beefed up. A little bit different engine styles going on there as well. But at the same time, they all have the same general lines, and that they all feel like they fit into the same universe.
Yeah.
I just love that.
Yeah, these are going to be pretty cool to pick up. I'm definitely gonna add that to my wish list, and then I'll have 5 Kum bikers to all paint up.
No, we don't actually have rules for these two yet, do we?
But we do.
We do have rules for them?
They're in the profiles for N3.
Oh, outstanding. Are they any good?
I haven't researched them, but
It doesn't matter.
five Kum bikers rolling down the field with their super impetuous order. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah. Now, if only we had a way to make them non-impetuous. Oh well, maybe someday, right? Well, because I mean, that's what Aesop Beg used to do, right?
I don't remember if that's how his
Yep.
rules were.
Yep.
But you can use a command token, right, to make him a
To make a
to,
single one, a regular order.
or combine order, right?
I guess you could do a combined order. So, yeah, that's true. That'll help you. It, the problem is they're super impetuous and they're also irregulars. So,
Oh, that's true.
so yeah, and uh, Izot would make them all into regular orders. I think they were still impetuous, but they were regular.
No,
So,
that just means
but
one.
we've heard that they might be getting their own sectorial at some point down the line. So, I I find it hard to imagine that we won't see any more coon bikers.
Or something to add to it.
True.
It just means that when playing, you can just go vroom, vroom, vroom as you move across the board.
Born to be wild. Yeah, I'm gonna play that every time.
Let's see, what else do I got here? So a few weeks ago at TempleCon, we announced, uh, or not, we didn't announce,
No,
Privateer
we
Press.
announced it. It was us.
Yeah,
They
we
didn't,
announced it via Privateer Press that the Colossals, their big war machines for the War Machine game, are getting a new edition or new variant models. Well, SmogCon was this weekend, and here they're showing off the new uh, Gargantuans, the Horde's equivalent. So, first one up is the Glacier King. This is the Mountain King, but a frostier version. And then we have the Storm Raptor. I mean, this will be interesting to see. Very big, giant bird.
yeah, that'll definitely be cool.
And then we have the Blightbringer, which is very less elegant compared to the Archangel.
Looks like a big Tyranid.
Yeah, very scary worm type of creature. And then we have the Hydra.
Oh, we actually have a model for this one.
Yeah, the Sand Hydra. So it's going to be interesting time for
I have
Hordes
like
players.
5
Once,
different heads on that thing, huh?
yep, and it's got the multi-head rule, so there's going to be makes it interesting in the play.
Yeah, those are awesome. It would be nice to have seen like another model next to that Hydra to get a sense of scale for it. But
Yeah.
oh well. Why would they ever do that? Because no one cares about how big that model actually is. That would be stupid. I mean,
Hey, I mean, it's going to
even
be.
GW puts other models next to their stuff for scale, but GW is bad and evil, so let's just throw that stupid idea out the window.
Well, it's 120 mil base, so it's going to be huge. And the Hydra is going to be very interesting to paint for people who are anal about painting scales.
So, all right, you got anything else for us?
Nope, that is it for me this week. Nothing else on your side?
I'm all done, man. It's time for some Walking Dead.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Tune in next week. If you saw anything interesting, please put it in the comment down below. Let us know what you think. like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to see more.
And as always, if you have a piece of news or a new product that you're interested in us taking a look at or maybe mentioning in the show, give us an email at theatomicsalt@gmail.com.
All right. Catch you guys later.
Good night, everybody.